Moonstone is full of mischief and trickery, but today we're taking things to a whole new level. I've got some awesome terrain that's going to change the way your games feel, and I can't wait to show you. I'm Lee, and in this video I'll be unboxing the Tombs of Moonreach Scatter Terrain. So let's jump straight in and see what this spooky terrain has to offer. So it comes in this neat little box, all well protected with the bubble wrap, and this is going to give you a complete set of scatter terrain, all made out of high quality resin. So if you're familiar with the Moonstone miniatures already, you'll know that the sculpts are fantastic and the casting comes out super crisp, and it's no different with this scatter terrain. Altogether, we've got 2 of these bags in this set of terrain, and here you can see we've got 9 pieces to begin with. We'll have a look at these first, one at a time, up close, and here you can see just how detailed and crisp the sculpt is on this first broken pillar. Now, these are going to be fantastic to use as scatter terrain for your games of Moonstone, and to be fair, you can use these for any fantasy game, don't have to just use them for Moonstone. And I think these would be perfect for objective markers for all different games. But as far as scatter terrain goes and bringing the terrain to life, it's little touches like this that can really add to your tabletop skirmish games. Combine these with some larger terrain pieces, some buildings, and you're going to be good to go. This particular set is all about Moonreach. This is the sunken city, and it's been left a crumbling ruin buried by gnomish ingenuity, and it's inhabited by spooks, creeps, and other things that go bump in the night. So this is certainly going to fit in with all the new shades of Moonreach miniatures, and if you're starting to make some terrain or a gaming board with that in mind, these are going to be perfect. I think you can even use some of the smaller pieces on your bases to add some interest. But for me, I'm a big fan of scatter terrain. I think the more little touches you can add to your game boards, the better. And these certainly build on the narrative side of the game, add in lots of interest that tie in with the Shades faction and the new miniatures. Here's the other bag then, and look at that, really crisp. You can see all the engravings there on this little mini altar have just come out fantastic, super crisp. And then we've got some other interesting pieces here. These might be the ones that you would use on perhaps the bases of your miniatures. We've got a lantern, we've got some different candles there. And then these burning lanterns here, you might want to put those on maybe some of the terrain pieces. You could mount them on a wall. We've got a couple of birds here, some crows, which is awesome. I'm a massive fan of crows, so really cool to get these. These would work as little miniatures as well. You could put them on their own individual bases if you wanted to. So that's really fun. Nice little bit of character on the faces as well. Can't wait to get those ready. They won't take long to paint at all. Another little ruin piece here with a nice engraving on the top. And then this would be part of like a pillar or something like that. Then we've got some tentacles. Perfect if you've got a little swampy area. Or maybe this would be good if you're trying to do something with more of a pirate theme. Perhaps you could use it. But it's certainly going to fit in with any water feature or swamp. And then here we've got some of the larger pieces, a little tree stump there with a skeleton leaning up against it with some armour on. And I'm thinking with these pieces it would be nice to make some little mini dioramas almost, especially for this scarecrow. I absolutely love this. A little bit of a, the welcome mats that you'd put in front of your door. You could cut some out, fray it up a bit, and you've got a nice base of a hay field there, which would work nicely with that. I love this pile of skulls and bones. That's really cool as well. So having each of these pieces fitted onto a really thin base, maybe just some card, and then add some rubble, maybe some little bits of foliage, that kind of thing, is going to work really nicely. Here's an old statue, and then we've got some tree there growing around it, some roots maybe. I love this one. Big cross that you'd imagine in the cemetery with a skull kneeling behind it. Fantastic. I love this, so crisp and well done. I think these are going to look awesome once they're all made into little mini dioramas or little pieces that we can use as scatter terrain on our table. There we go then, altogether that's 28 pieces of resin terrain that we can use as scatter terrain. We can add it to our bases or use it as little dioramas. I love these pieces. That scarecrow is one of my favourite. The little pile there of skulls and this cross I think are just going to be awesome. And again, by putting them into little mini pieces or little dioramas of their own, you could also use those as objective markers in other games. We can get the most out of the terrain as possible. Now we've seen the terrain up close, let's put it up alongside some of the miniatures, and I'll use some of the Shades of Moonreach miniatures, my favourite Greymare there, and Angerboda as well, and this will give you a good idea of size. There's some of the bigger statues, and then we've got the little tree trunk there, and then another skull up against a rock. This image should give you a good idea of the size of those walls as well, so we can build around those, add some foliage, a bit of dirt, a few more rocks, and that's going to be a nice little feature to have to make our miniatures move around during gameplay. Those tentacles are awesome. You could certainly imagine those as a little trap or something as well, causing some trouble that our miniatures will have to avoid. Here's some of the smaller pieces, like the old headstone that's snapped in half, and that altar, which I think is really well done. And there's the Scarecrow. This is one of my favourite pieces. It could certainly be a character on its own. Lots going on there. I can imagine this being used in loads of different scenarios. And then you've got a little bit that I've used as a base for it and just propped it up. And here's some of the other smaller pieces of bones. I love that cow head there. You've got the skull, but it's also got a lot of the skin still on there and flesh, which is a nice touch. So I think once that's painted up, that's really going to stand out and look awesome. And the rib cage is really cool as well. Then we've got some of the smaller pieces. These are going to be great to go on the bases, the lantern, the torches, and those candles. And we can't forget those two crows, which I think have got loads of character for such a small miniature. The one on the left certainly stands out to me. I think that looks brilliant. And you could put this, again, on little pieces of terrain, or add them to bases, so lots of options with these miniatures. There we go then, that's the Tombs of Moonreach Scatter Terrain set for Moonstone. A great little selection that I think is going to add loads of fun and interest to your tabletop. I'll put a link in the description down below and the comments section as well, so you can head over to the website and check out the Tombs of Moonreach Scatter Terrain set, and also have a look at all the other terrain that they offer. So depending on the sort of scenario you want to create or the game board you're working on, the Moonstone team have got you covered with markets, farms, swamps and forests, so all sorts going on. A really great selection. And if you're interested in finding out more about Moonstone, check out the videos I've got on the channel. Loads on there now for Moonstone, including the unboxing for the starter set, and then I've been painting the miniatures that come with it. Two great selections there of Fawns and Shades of Moonreach characters. So I've been painting Greymare, Jada, the Jackalope, that's all painted up and ready for battle, and also Angerboda. So they're some of the most recent ones, but if you go back through the inventory, you can see loads of other characters from the series. And I've also started now to unbox some of the other characters that we can use to enhance that starter set. If you're interested in more painting videos, check out my one on Dim and Dimmer, one of my favourite characters and models from the whole collection. And I've also done loads of unboxing videos to give you a good idea about what's included in each box. And then we also go through the character cards so you know what the miniatures can do. And finally, there's a complete how to play Moonstone video with loads of other videos going through all aspects of gameplay. So there's loads on the channel already if you're a fan of Moonstone or want to find out more, but we've also got lots more planned for this series as we continue with lots of videos that are going to be diving into the lore of the game. We're going to look at some of the tokens as well, some awesome token sets, and we've got loads more unboxings and characters to dive into and explore, including the full range of Shades of Moonreach. So lots to look forward to. I'd love to know what you think about this set of Scatter Terrain and what you would think you would do with it for your game, so let me know in the comment sections down below. But for now, thanks so much for watching, hope you enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you here next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games.